Alright, what's going on, everybody? Got another gold guide video for you today. It's the UZI. It's been a while since I actually used the UZI to get a gold for it. When I did, I believe it was actually worse than it is now. I think after I used it, it got a buff. But even when I used it, when apparently it was worse, I still thought it was pretty good. It's definitely not the best SMG, in my opinion at least, but it's not bad at all. Most of the SMGs in general are pretty good. I've said it in a couple of my other videos that there isn't really an SMG that I used that I was like, I can't wait to get this done with. Like the crossbow, which is what I'm on now. I hate using the crossbow, but yeah, the SMGs are pretty similar to the assault rifles when it comes to getting your camo challenges done. I think they're the exact same challenges. You just need a little bit less kills to unlock all the things for them. So if this is your first video, like gold guide that you've seen from me, I break down each gun usually into 4 different builds. Depending on what type of gun it is, I might do more or less. But each build will target specific camo categories. That way I'm giving you guys builds that are best at certain camo categories rather than giving you one gun build that's decent at all of them. Or okay at all of them. That way you can get it done as quickly as possible. It's what I found to be the best, is going for specific camo challenges rather than trying to just do them here and there. So that's how I break down the video. Then after all these gun builds, I have another segment where I just go over all the different camo requirements, what they are, what game modes to play, what variation of the game mode, whether it's hardcore or core, and then what maps are best, along with any other tips that I have for you guys. Again, I try to say this in every video. If you're a Call of Duty veteran, you've been playing Call of Duty for years, I'm not really going to mention anything groundbreaking. I do have some tips that I think definitely help speed up the process for getting Damascus, but I mean, if you're a veteran of the game, I'm not really going to say anything that you probably don't already know. I make these videos mostly for new players that are trying to get Damascus, because there's a lot to it now, rather like than how it used to be. So these are really just meant for new players, but trying to keep this video short, not long, because it usually ends up being 20 or 15 minutes long, because I break down each gun and every attachment. That way you know why I'm using what I'm using. I'm just going to hop into the first build, which should be the kills build. Alright, so now I got that long intro out of the way. Here's the kills build. So, for the optic, you guys can use whatever optic you like. I use the GI Mini Reflex. It's my favorite sight in the game. If you want to know why it's my favorite, it's because of the thin bezel. Having a thin bezel to the sight just makes it so you're not going to block anybody, potentially, with like the border of the scope. So, like, if I swap to, let's see over here. Where's the holographic? If you have a holographic on, look how like thick the bezel of this thing is. Like you can easily block somebody if they're far away and they're just a couple of they're a couple of pixels and not that big. You can easily hide them behind that. That's why I like to use the GI Mini Reflex. But you guys can just use whatever you're most comfortable with. And then for the barrel, I use a 6.5-inch factory carbine. This is just gonna help with your damage range and bullet velocity, which don't matter too much because I always tell you guys to do this in hardcore. I know if you're a core player, hearing me say hardcore, you might just ignore it, but that is one of the biggest tips I can give you, is to do all your challenges in hardcore. It makes it so much easier. Again, I know, me personally, I'm a core player, but I've done it for like the past 3 Call of Duties when I've been going for max camo. I always do it in hardcore, and it just speeds up the process an insane amount. But so yeah, those first 2 pros aren't going to really matter, because you're playing hardcore, and then the 3rd pro, recoil control, is always just good to have. For the underbarrel attachment, this is one of my favorite attachments in the game. It's the Merc foregrip. It's going to help with both your recoil control and your hipfire accuracy. Again, you're really just shooting for recoil control. Hipfire accuracy is just great in general, though, because there's a hipfire challenge, and that any bonus you can have to your hipfire is going to help you out. Moving on to your ammunition. Just an extended mag. Just nothing fancy about it, just gives you more bullets. And then the rear grip, this is also one of my favorite attachments in the game. Stapled grip tape. It helps with your ADS speed and your sprint to fire speed. Now, if you don't know the difference between ADS speed and sprint to fire speed, like you don't know what they are, ADS speed is that time from when you're hip firing to when you're able to look down your scope, when you're fully looking down your scope or your sight. So, since it's a pro, it's going to reduce that amount of time, which in return is going to make it so you're aiming down your sight faster. Sprint to fire speed is when you're either double sprinting or sprinting. It's that time from when you stop sprinting to that first shot coming out of your gun. So say you're running, you pull the trigger, from that point to your gun actually shooting, that's what it's affecting. So if it's a pro, which in this case it is, that time is going to be reduced, allowing you to shoot faster than somebody that doesn't have sprint to fire speed buffed. And then, of course, if it's a con, it's going to add time, making it longer, which is not good. And hardcore, sprint to fire speed is a very beneficial pro to have. Both of these are, because they allow you to get your gun up and ready to shoot before the other person. In hardcore, it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots to kill somebody. So getting that first shot off can net you a kill majority of the time. But that's actually it for the kills build. This is the build that's going to help you out with most of your kills. It's got really good recoil. I actually just messed around in it in a custom game to make sure this is still a good build, and I was having a lot of fun with it. It doesn't have much recoil at all. It's pretty good. But that's it for the kills build. Now moving on to the, oh god, I think it's the Hipfire build. Yeah, I was right. So here's the Hipfire build. So getting into the attachments, always you want to use a 5mm laser. It's the best laser sight when it comes to hipfire accuracy. As you can see right here in the description, this says greatly improves. Where if I go to the 1mm, it doesn't. But that's not the only evidence that I have that it's better. If we go right here to accuracy, you can see I have it selected, so you can see what it's going to boost. And then if you're to equip the 1mm, you can see that it's clearly worse. The only con that the 5mm has is that it's green laser and it's visible, where the 1mm is a red laser and it's not invisible, or not. It is invisible. It's not visible to enemies. I feel like I just said that wrong. They can see the 5mm, they can't see the 1mm. That's all I'm trying to say. But also a huge bonus, like I said, if you watched my kills build previously, it also boosts your sprint to fire speed, which is a huge attribute to have in hardcore. So if you are getting pre-fired around corners or something because they see your laser, you could swap to the 1mm, but I would highly recommend that you stick it out with the 5mm. Moving on to, I'll go on to the muzzle last. This is really just a filler attachment. Underbarrel, very good for your hipfire build, just because it's going to boost your hipfire accuracy. It's the only foregrip in the game that actually boosts your hipfire accuracy, as far as I'm aware. But for this SMG, it clearly is, because there's not a lot of them. Ammo. Okay, so I usually tie in these two attachments together, ammo and sleight of hand. So with a hipfire kill, you're doing just that. You're hipfiring. So you're not going to be as accurate as if you were aiming down your sight, so you're not going to be as accurate. You're going to have to shoot more to kill somebody. Having to shoot more means you want more bullets in your magazine. That's where extended mags comes into play. Now, tie that in with sleight of hand. Since you're shooting more, you're draining more ammo in your mag. You want to constantly have as many bullets in that mag. That way you can hopefully secure the kill. So, partner that with sleight of hand. That's just going to reduce the amount of time that you're reloading. So you can constantly have full mags, or like as filled up mags as you can in your gun. So that's why I use extended mags and sleight of hand. Now getting to this fifth attachment, you can really use whatever you want. This is really just a filler attachment to get 5 out of 5 attachments, so you can work on that tiger camo, I believe it is, where you need to have max attachments on your gun. The reason I use a suppressor is right here. Sound suppression, okay, that's kind of obvious, but it also boosts your damage range, which isn't really a factor at all in hardcore. But again, like I said, it's a filler attachment. So the bonus for having a suppressor when you're going for your hipfire kills is that you're shooting somebody. If having a suppressor causes that person to like not figure out where you are for another second, since you're playing hardcore, it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots to kill them. That extra second of them not figuring out where you are may or may not secure you the kill. It's going to be rare that that's ever the case, but if it worked, it worked. So if I take you through all these other attachments that I have, that I don't have actually, you can see why I use a suppressor. Like right here, recoil control doesn't matter. You're firing, bullet velocity and damage range doesn't matter. You're not aiming. You could use this for movement speed, the mini barrel. These two pros are worthless in hardcore. Optic, completely worthless because you're not aiming down your sight, you're hip firing. The stocks, you're not aiming, Could use this for movement speed if you wanted to be able to move faster, and then again, you're not aiming. Rear grip, you're not recoil isn't going to be a factor because you're hip firing. You could use a stapled grip tape instead of a suppressor to get that sprint to fire speed increase. but again, you're not going to take advantage of the aim down sight speed, and then granulated grip tape, you're not aiming. So that 5th attachment, you can really just use whatever you want. I just have the monolithic suppressor for the reasons I explained. But that's actually it for the Hipfire build, and moving on to the reload build. Alright, this one's simple. I'm not going to explain this entire build because it is basically identical to the kills build. The only difference is instead of an extended mag, I have sleight of hand. You don't need an extended mag because you're doing reload kills, so you're constantly reloading. So you just swap out that mag for sleight of hand. If you want to hear why I'm using these attachments, just go back and watch the kills build. All the timestamps are down below. Alright, so here's this ugly build, the Longshot / mounted kill build. This is actually an extremely effective build, I should say. A key part to having your gun built like this is a smoke grenade, and I'll kind of explain that in a second. Actually, I'll do that right now, so I'll meet you guys in game. Alright, so as we load in here, again, I just want to make sure, you guys know to make sure you have a smoke grenade equipped when you are going for your long shots and your mounted kills. Another important factor is that you want to be on shoe house, as you can see. I know it's a little bit different now because Rust is out. Shipment also came out after I got Damascus. So for me personally, I was able to get Damascus before those maps came out. So shoe house 24/7 was a playlist that was constantly out, which made it a lot easier for me to get my long shots and mounted kills done. So this is exactly what you want to do for your long shots and mounted kills on shoe house. So with that smoke, all you want to do, you want to come to either this wall right here or the basically brother or sister wall, which is down at the other end of mid lane. You just throw a smoke grenade up over the wall through mid lane, let it puff up a little bit, just takes a second, jump up on the wall, mount your gun. With that thermal sight, as you can see on the left side of my screen, you can't see through that smoke. With the thermal sight, you can see through it perfectly. So if there's anybody camping on that wall, basically like you are, and they don't have a thermal or night vision sight, they can't see you, but you'll be able to see them. So when you hop up here, you'll be completely safe because they can't see you. You mount your gun to make sure you're getting that mounted kill, and then you just shoot them. So if they're on that wall right there, you'll get a long shot. On this particular side, there is about 2 or 3 spawns right here at this wall that I'm aiming at. I've seen multiple people get like 5 kills in a matter of like 2 seconds. I've personally done it. If you have your teams like at the right spots on the left and right lane, it'll basically force their entire team to spawn in this corner and behind these sand boxes. I don't even know what they're called, but on that end, obviously. So those are also long shots right here. On the wall again is long shots. And if they're running towards you, the long shots end kind of midway between that wall and like those boxes right there. So it's about right there is where your long shots are going to cut off. So you just want to make sure you kill them. And on this side, long shots end about right here. Again, halfway through. So another important like tip I could give you is if you're constantly killing somebody up here, usually what happens is they're gonna get kind of angry at you. So if they're smart, they usually try and peek you from a different angle, whether that's on the right or the left. But a lot of times I had a lot of people try and peek this wall right here because they would spawn back there. And then so this map is very symmetrical. It's basically just if you cut the map in half and then flipped it, it's basically the same exact thing. So this wall right here is actually the same thing as that wall. So if you're on that wall, they would peek this wall. If you're on this wall, again, they would peek that wall. That's also a long shot. Same with this if you're at that end. So you just want to keep that in mind that though they might peek here. And then also if you were to do that and be on this wall, killing people on that wall is still a long shot. Again, and then here I can show you again the uses for some of the attachments that I have built for this gun. Right now my hand is currently off my mouse. I'm not touching it at all, so you can see how steady that reticle is, and that's why I build this gun for aiming stability, because in hardcore it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots to kill the guy. You want to make sure you're as accurate as possible, and as you can see, that crosshair is going to not move at all, so it's going to help you out with your accuracy. But that's really it for the playstyle. It's extremely effective, and it's how I got all my mounted and long shot kills for basically all the guns in the game. Alright, so that was the playstyle for this build. So going into the actual attachments themselves, you're going to want to use either one of the 2 thermal optics that are in the game or the night vision sight. For me personally, I actually almost never use the thermal sights. The reason for that being, I don't know if this gun is the same. Yeah, as you can see right here, these 2 thermal sights are the last attachments in the game. Or not in the game. They're on the later end of the gun. The gun's got 55 levels. these are probably, I don't know, like 50. You have to probably have your gun to be 50, level 50 or above to get these two unlocked. So if we scroll up, you can see here's a night vision sight. You unlock it earlier on in like the level tree than you do the thermals. And if we go to the camo, I think it's Splinter. This is where you get your Longshot camo. You can see you unlock it early. It's like about halfway. So you'll unlock the camo for Longshots before you actually have those thermal sights. But the good thing about the night vision sight is that it does the same exact thing as the thermal. You'll be able to see through the smoke, which is why you're using the thermal or the night vision sight. So you can still see through it perfectly, and even if the person's got cold-blooded on, the night vision sight still picks them up through the smoke, no problem. And again, so don't be worried if you don't have the thermal sight unlocked. I use the night vision sight for basically every single gun. Yeah, that's why I use thermal or night vision sight. So like I said in that like explanation of the playstyle, you want to build your gun towards aiming stability. So that's why I'm using this wood stock. Just it's going to increase your aiming stability. Make sure that crosshair is as steady as possible. Granulated grip tape does the same exact thing. Aiming stability also adds aim walking steadiness, but as you saw in the video, you're not walking at all. Underbarrel, you want to use the Ranger foregrip. This is going to buff your aiming stability and also your recoil control. And then the barrel, the only attribute to this that you're taking advantage of is recoil control. Bullet velocity, it's a small map. The bullet isn't going to really have much travel time. It's still going to be a hit scan. Damage range, you're playing hardcore, and it's a short distance, so your bullets aren't going to lose very much damage, if at all. Plus, it's hardcore, so it's only going to take 1 or 2 shots to kill the guy. But that's actually it for all the builds. Now I'm going to hop into the camo requirement part of the video. Alright, so now we're into the camo requirement part of the video, where I'm just going to go over all the different camo categories, what you need to do to unlock all the camos within that category, and then I'll give you what maps are the best, well, that I found best to get the challenges done, what variant of the game mode, whether it's hardcore or core, and then what weapon build is like best for that challenge. So starting off with the first one, you have spray paint. You need to get 500 just normal kills. The maps are just Shoe House, Shipment, and Rust. They're the smallest maps, are going to be the easiest to get the most amount of kills on, running into the most fights. So a lot of these challenges will all have the same 3 maps. And if you watch this video like months down the line and there's more maps out, like there's like when I did Damascus, when I was grinding for Damascus, Shipment was just coming out. Shoot House was out for a little bit, but Rust wasn't even out. So, like as time goes on, more maps will be released, and then hopefully smaller maps will come out. That way, it'll be easier for you guys. But for the spray paint, the best build is going to be the kills build. It's just the best build that is like good overall. So that's the build that works best. For Woodland, you're going to need 100 headshots. The maps again, Shoe House, Shipment, and Rust. Play hardcore, and then again the kills build. Digital, you need 110 crouching kills. Same thing, same 3 maps, Shoe House, Shipment, and Rust. Play hardcore once again, and then also the kills build. For crouching kills, if you get this on Shipment, you can get it done in like what 3 games or 2 games. It's insane. What I would do is I just spawned. As soon as I spawn, I would just crouch. That way, every kill I got. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but you just crouch as soon as you spawn, and then you just stay crouched the entire time. Shipment is such a small map that even if you're not moving that much because you're crouching, you're still going to get a lot of kills just by crouching and not moving that much. Then for Dragon, you just need 100 hipfire kills. Again, same 3 maps, Shipment, Shoot House, and Rust. Once again, hardcore. This is like the first spot where hardcore is like super beneficial. I mean, don't get me wrong, for kills and crouching kills, it's pretty beneficial. For headshots, I think it's extremely beneficial because it's only a one hit headshot kill. But then also for hipfire kills, only having to hit the guy once or twice while you're just spraying at him hipfiring is just extremely useful. But again, Shoe House, Shipment, and Rust. Hardcore, like I said, and then you want to use either the Hipfire build or depending on what the kills build has on it. If it's got the 5mm laser and the Merc 4 grip, it's basically a Hipfire build gun if it's got the 5mm laser and the Merc 4 grip on it. So you can pick up your hipfire kills with that as well. For Splinter, you need 50 long shots. If you guys are just skipping to this part of the video from the timestamps below, and you kind of want like an idea or a tip on how to get your long shot kills pretty easily, definitely go back and watch the Longshot / mounted kill build in this video, I take you guys through exactly the type of playstyle that I use to get all my Longshot and mounted kills. And in my opinion, it's very effective. Like I just said, I got all of my guns, all the Longshot and mounted kills done that way. So for the maps, you want to play Shoot House more specifically because that gun was built specifically for that map and that playstyle. But also Rust. I haven't actually gone for a gold gun, getting long shots on Rust yet. With these new DLC guns, I'm starting to play Rust. But actually, when I went through and did my Damascus, Rust wasn't out. But there is a couple spots that I've seen on Rust where you can get long shots. Again, you want to play hardcore, and the weapon build is, of course, the long shot build. So the next one is topography or topo. You need 50 mounted kills. You can get your mounted kills on either Shoot House with the long shot build. So like, I usually would wait for this topography camo category to be unlocked before I went for my long shot kills, because you can get your long shot kills and your mounted kills. You can pick them up at the same time. So you could play Shoot House like using that same exact playstyle I just mentioned for the long shot build. Shipment, extremely easy map to get your mounted kills. You just mount like on anything. As soon as you spawn, you're gonna see tons of people. That's an extremely easy way to get it done. And then Rust, it's kind of like Shoot House. It's not as small as Shipment, but there's definitely some good spots that you can just mount your gun and pick up a lot of kills. Again, you want to play hardcore, and then you can either use the long shot build if you're going with that playstyle for Splinter, with that like sitting on the wall with the thermal sight, or you can just use the kills build if you're playing on like Shipment or Rust. For Tiger, you just need to get 250 kills with max attachments. I think this is actually the one camo category for SMGs that you have to get more kills with than assault rifles. I think assault rifles is 180. For SMGs, you need more at 250. The maps, just any small map again. So Shoot House, Shipment, and Rust. You want to play hardcore, and then you can just use any build. All the builds that are featured in this video all have max attachments, so you can so you can get your Tiger camo unlocked. And then stripes, 40 reload kills. Shoot House, Shipment, and Rust. Again, small map. You get to run into the most people. Play hardcore, and then you want to use the reload build. The stripes actually, if it used to be a lot harder to get your stripe camo kills, those reload kills, but it's been like after a month of the game being out, they increased the amount of time you needed, or the amount of time that was given to you to get a reload killed. So it's a lot easier to get your reload kills now, so you don't specifically need a reload build. You might actually find yourself getting your reload kill challenges done just by playing the game, going for other challenges. So that's kind of nice. For the reptile camo category, you need 75 kills with no attachments. Again, you just want to play on those small maps, so Shoot House, Shipment, and Rust. Hardcore, and then no weapon build because you need to use a bare bones gun. For skulls, you need 25 3-kill streaks. This is kind of weird. So for the maps I just said, Shoot House, Shipment, and Rust, just because you're gonna run into the most people that way. Same exact thing as all the other camo categories. You run into the most people, you're gonna run into the most fights, so you're gonna have the most opportunity to run into a 3-kill streak. Now I understand that all of you might not be the world's best Call of Duty player, so having to get a 3-kill streak on these small maps might be harder for you. If that's the case, just take any of the builds really, and just hop into Ground War. Ground War is extremely easy to get your 3-kill streaks because it's such a big map. There's so many people, and you can just camp real quick and just Call of Duty. There's not a lot of recoil on your guns, so you can shoot people and kill them pretty easily across like long distances. So if you're having trouble on these smaller maps, I would definitely, if you're like an average player, I would definitely recommend playing on Shoot House, Shipment, and Rust. Just because, like I said, you're gonna run into the most fights, so you're gonna have the most chances to get your 3-kill streaks. But if you're maybe a little bit below average or just struggling, hop into Ground War. I definitely did it for some of the guns. Whenever I was getting smacked around on those small maps, it just makes it a little bit easier for you. So again, play Shoot House, Shipment, and Rust, but if you're getting smacked around a little bit, just hop into Ground War. And then if you're playing those 3 small maps, just play whatever version of the map is in hardcore, and then I would recommend using the kills build right off the bat. But if you play Ground War, you can kind of just screw around with other builds and see what works best for you. But that's it, guys. That's all the camo categories. That's all the challenges. So that's actually be it for this video. If you guys liked the video, drop it a like. If you didn't, there's a button there for that as well. I always feel weird asking for people to subscribe, so I put in this little clip of Jev at the end here explaining that whole thing. But that's going to be it for this video, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.
That is such a lame. He used to mock people for asking for subscribers, and now that's all he does. It's like, dude, the analytics between a video where you tell somebody just simply adding, hey, can you subscribe, versus not. It's actually insane. It's literally a friendly reminder that you can subscribe. I ain't begging for shit. I got enough. But if you want to subscribe, I appreciate it.